Hello, this is Paul, City Sailing. We're going to talk about dead reckoning, or DR. This is the backbone of navigation, and it was how it was traditionally used. So dead reckoning, or DR, is plotting your course only using distance through the water from the boat's log, or calculated from your time and speed, and your direction from your boat's compass. So you know where you're starting from. You want to know how far you've gone, that's the distance, and you can work that out from the ship's log. A ship's log is a bit like a car's mileometer. It measures how far you've gone on your boat through the water. It's either reset to 0 at the beginning of a trip, and that's why that part's called trip. Just like a car, you can reset it to 0 for the trip you're doing, or for the life of the boat, same as the life of the car, you just write down the last couple of digits in your log and it will tell you how far you've been. Or you can calculate it from your time and speed. So if you're doing 7 knots, which is 7 nautical miles an hour, you've done that for an hour, you've travelled 7 nautical miles. And the direction is taken from the boat's compass. We've done a video on compass, and we work out from the boat's compass to true, and we put true on our chart. So if that makes no sense to you, please look at our video on the compass and it will all make sense. So it may be easier to just go through an example. So for boat sails on a course of 0 through 32 degrees true, so we've converted it from the ship's compass to true, and it sails on that course for 1 hour at 3 knots. So there's our vessel on the course of 032 degrees true, and it goes for 1 hour at 3 knots. So how far would it have gone in that 1 hour? So obviously 1 hour at 3 knots, it would have gone 3 nautical miles. And we'd have worked that out and it should match up with the ship's log. So we've got the vessel at the start here. We mark from the side of the chart 3 nautical miles, directly opposite from where we are, from the vessel up to the line, draw a line perpendicular to our course line, and that's the symbol for a DR position, and that's our dead reckoning or DR position. After an hour, if it changes to 125 degrees true and sails for another hour, 20 minutes, we then put a new course on, a new line on, which is 125 degrees true, 1¼ hours. So pop it on with your plotter on the chart and then work out how far we've gone. So 1 hour 20 minutes at 3 knots is 4 miles. Measure 4 miles from the side of the chart, mark it off with a line that's perpendicular to our line, which is the symbol for DR or dead reckoning, and that will be our new position. If we go through a question, it's much easier to explain. So the question is, you've left an anchorage at Stubbington Bay at 10 o'clock and sailed on a heading of 300 degrees true. At 11 o'clock, you change course to 055 degrees true, heading towards Victoria. Your average speed was 7 knots. And the question is, plot your position at 1200 hours. This is on RYA chart 3 in the top left-hand corner. So we find Stubbington Bay, and we start from the anchor symbol in the anchorage in Stubbington Bay. So from the anchor symbol in Stubbington Bay, we put 300 degrees on our plotter, big arrow in the direction we're going, little arrow towards the top, draw a line, and that's our course of 300 degrees true. So the second part was to work out how far we've gone. So we've got an hour, our speed is 7 knots, so we've travelled 7 nautical miles, and we'll mark that off on the chart. So there we go, our position at 11 o'clock is marked on the chart with a small line that is perpendicular to our course line. So if we look at the second part, we've changed course to 055 degrees true and we're heading towards Victoria. Our average speed is 7 knots. Plot your position at 12 o'clock. So we put the new line on the chart at 055 using our plotter. We've gone for another hour, so it's another 7 miles because we're doing 7 knots, which is 7 nautical miles per hour. So there it is. Put our new course on, go through the harbour at Victoria and mark off 7 miles, and that's our position with our dead reckoning after 7 miles. So that is direct dead reckoning. It is pretty basic navigation. If there is no wind, if there is no tide, and there's no other external factors on our vessel, our compass is reading correctly and our log is reading correctly, this will be accurate. So the inaccuracies were going to be wind blowing on the boat, that's called leeway, set and drift, the tide affecting your boat and pushing it sideways, compass not reading properly, deviation table not being correct, the person steering the boat not steering in a straight line, and that becomes more difficult the windier it is and the worse the sea state is. So all these errors play into effect. So carry on. We're going to talk about how to work out our position with the effective tide, which is called estimated position. So we do our DR, dead reckoning, first. We pop the effective tide on for the time we've been on the water, and that's called our estimated position. We're going to do that now in the next video. See you in a mo. Cheers, Paul, City Sailing.